dark, dark tomb there was a dark, dark street, and in the dark, dark street there was a dark, dark office. In the dark, dark office there were some dark, dark stairs, and down the dark, dark stairs there was a dark, dark room, and in the dark, dark room was where the worst wrestling tropes go to die.
Hello, I'm Ross Tweddell from Cultaholic Wrestling, and welcome to the latest thrilling installment of Straight to Hell, the show, of course, where my illustrious guests, look at them there, they offer up a list of their pet peeves from the world of professional wrestling, then they'll get sent down straight to hell to rot for the rest of eternity. Joining us today, that's the company catchphrase, isn't it? Joining us today is a little bald man called Andrew. How are you doing, Andrew?
I'm very well, thank you, Ross. I'm very good. I'm excited to be here because I used to watch these way back in day, lad. Way back in day when I just used to be a viewer myself. So it feels weird, but it feels very nice that you asked me to come and say hello.
What's your favourite episode, Andrew?
What's my favourite episode? I like the one with, obviously, Aiden English was a fantastic one.
You worked here for that one?
I did work here for that one. I also like the ones way back when you used to interview, like, when Ben was at Vidiots and stuff, and, like, Will Ospreay. You did, who else did you do? You've done lots. I'm thinking, didn't you do Larson from Stephen Larson?
And Steve as well.
That was good. And Steve as well. You're a good lad, you're a good interviewer.
Oh, thank you very much.
Cheers. You're welcome.
We'll see how true that is today. As I have put together a Getting to Know You. What's that film called from back in the day where it's like, getting to know you. Getting to know all about
you.
Because in terms of the old YouTube, you know, your knees are under the table now, but still you are relatively new, so we need to find some things out about you, Andrew. So I've put together a quiz, which is a mixture of my own questions and some questions lifted from Cosmopolitan's 36 questions to ask someone if you really want to get to know them.
Okay, I'm excited.
This is quick fire.
Right.
Name.
Andrew.
Full name, please.
Andrew John Hodkinson.
Oh, John. What's the John after?
John. The John is after my dad's best friend who he used to work with on a farm. So that's where John comes from.
Fair enough. Age.
27 years young.
Occupation.
Video editor.
Hometown.
Oh, skip to North Yorkshire.
Cats or dogs?
Cats. Big cat steady now.
Favourite wrestler doing the wrestling today?
Either Pete Dunne or Adam Cole.
Favourite wrestler ever?
Jeffrey Hardy.
Oh, favourite match?
Ooh. Pete Dunne and... Actually, no, cancel that. The Triangle Ladder match at WrestleMania 16.
Best branded tea?
Best brand of tea? It's got to be tasty Yorkshire tea, lad.
Chips and cheese or chips and gravy?
Chips and gravy any day.
When was the last time you felt excited? And what was it for or because of? Can you tell which ones are my questions and which ones are Cosmopolitan?
Yeah, I can. Last time I felt excited, genuinely this right now. And because I get nervous excited, so I'm like nervous and excited right now. So I'm ready to go.
He's ready to go. He's had a monster. Favourite pie?
I make a good vegan chicken and leek pie, lad.
Leek is a lovely thing, which has come into my life very recently. I used to hate it when I was a kid, but I love a bit of leek now. First wrestling-related memory?
Was getting WrestleMania 16 on VHS.
If your life were a movie, what scene would you watch over and over again?
If my life were a movie, what scene? When I was in a band, we were doing a little tour in the UK, and I got to Birmingham. And at this point, we were doing so much stuff. Like it felt like I just quit my job as well, so I didn't really have much money coming in. But I was pouring lots of money. We were all pouring lots of money into the band, and it was just as I'd sent an application to work here. I hadn't heard anything back for like 2 months. We got to Birmingham, and I was like, I don't know if I can keep this band stuff up. And then blooming Sam Driver comes in, slides into them DMs, and is like, do you want to do some freelance stuff? And I was like, whoa! And that is literally when it changed. I was like, I don't even think I want to be in a band anymore. I want to be a video editor.
We killed your passion. Is that what
you saying? Killed it. It's gone. It's dead forever.
If you ended up in jail, what would your friends and family think you did?
If I ended up in jail, I don't know. Something stupid. I do daft things and then regret them straight away. Like, I don't know. Get me tackle out or something.
Favorite pizza?
Favorite pizza is a pepperoni from Pizza Hut. It's very good.
Pepperoni, because of course you don't eat the meat, do you?
I don't eat the meat anymore.
How can you be from up north and not eat meat?
That's what my dad asks me every single time he rings me up now.
Were you annoyed when Tamina got screwed out of the SmackDown Women's title last year and didn't get a rematch?
Ross, I think we're all very upset about that, so yes.
Were you annoyed when Tamina was screwed during SmackDown karaoke by her own family?
Who wouldn't be, Ross? Yes, I was.
What's the best decision you have made in your life, and you cannot be copping out by saying joining Cultaholic?
That is difficult then. The best decision I ever made in my entire life was... you've had me, because that would be it. The best decision is not a decision I made, but a decision, obviously, Adam or you guys made. Letting me go on Twitch and meeting all the nice people that watch on Twitch, because I made some very, very good and very genuine friends from that whole experience. So that is probably the best thing.
You found a cheeky cop-out answer there, but I'll accept it.
Yeah.
What are some of your biggest fears?
Spiders. Got one tattooed on my arm. Spiders, water, and running in water, and something coming after you. Do you know what I mean? Because when you're running in water, it's like proper slow, and you're like, and
why
then if there's something coming for you, because I can't swim.
Oh,
that's why I'm afraid of water.
Where does the South begin in England? It's a crucial question.
Where does the South begin? Oof. Anywhere past Yorkshire. Yorkshire is just the north.
I'll accept that.
That's it.
Favourite 90s pop sensation?
Oh, favourite 90s pop sensation? Oh, I'm going to go for... what was the one that did sweet like chocolate?
Balls. I've forgotten completely there. That one. Who do you look up to the most? This is cosmopolitan all over this.
Who do I look up to the most? Spider-Man.
Fair enough.
To this day, yeah.
Adam would be gutted. Where do you see yourself in 5 years, Andrew?
Oh, hopefully still very much here. Hopefully doing lots more nice things with everybody on camera, if he'll still have me. And I don't know, just keeping on going, keeping on getting better, hopefully, and learning lots of things from all the nice people.
We're nearing the end, everybody. Don't worry. I've got to ask all the questions because they're all more monumental than the last. Baby metal or not?
Yes, I love baby metal, Ross, so much you don't even understand.
Favorite baby metal song?
Oof, I like Megitsune because it's just like an anime opening song. It's just hype AF, as the children say. I love it so much.
I'm a Road to Resistance man, mate. Is it Road to Resistance or Road of Resistance? I always forget.
Road to Resistance, right?
Oh, that one, yeah. Which TV or movie character do you identify with and why? Is it Spider-Man?
I wish it was, but I don't think I'm brave enough to be a Spider-Man boy. Probably Spider-Man in that I would like to think that I base my moral choices off what that man does. Yes.
Good. Where is your happy place, Andrew?
Where's my happy place? My happy place is just playing games, just playing the video games or playing the guitar. That's where it is.
What makes you cry and why?
What are these questions? What makes me cry? Sad films make me cry. Music can make me cry because I like music a lot. Raw, WWE Raw can make me cry quite badly. Yeah.
And finally, and we're not going to move on until we get a definitive answer from this question.
Okay.
This is just for on-screen personalities only, obviously. Rank everyone at Cultaholic from worst to best.
You are kidding me. You can't do that to me. Are you being serious? You've got to be kidding me. All right. No, I can't. Everybody, just personality-wise. That's horrible. You're actually horrible. I can't. Ross last for doing this. You're not, though, because I like you. I can't do it. Do I actually have to do this?
I just said we're not moving on until it's been answered.
I can't believe you'll do this to me. Personality-wise.
No, just the on-screen personalities. Yeah.
Oh,
I'm joking, Andrew.
You're
Don't
an
worry about
arsehole.
it. Don't worry about it. We'll move on. Well, yeah, of course, that's the end of the Ross Tweddell / Cosmopolitan magazine question thing to get to know Andrew Hodkinson a little bit more. I hope everyone had a fun time while we did that thing. But we're here to do some straight to hell, Andrew. And I get you're quite a positive man, aren't you?
So it was hard. It was hard to think of things, and a lot of like the notes that I've got are like, I'm not singling out one person, but
no, you have to single out one person. That's what the show is all about.
No,
I really wish I could go back in time and call this wrestle therapy, because I find that people just when they get going, just let it all out, let the steam off, and just get it out there. It's like there's a chaise longue in the office here. You're down there. I'm the therapist on the seat here. Yes. Andrew, the first thing, any wrestling trope, if you had to send it straight to hell, what would it be?
I would send referees that forcefully implement themselves and take away from what's happening in the match. That is something that I just do not like. So, like, I guess, again, I didn't really want to single anybody out, but I'm singling this person out. So
he's going for it already.
I'm going for it already.
Look at him,
so,
the
like,
viciousness.
I know, I can't believe it. I feel bad doing it, and I think he's fantastic. Bryce Remsburg in AEW, right? Amazing. He does incredible things. He did incredible things in Shikara and stuff, and like his comedic stuff with the Invisible Man versus Invisible Stan, all that kind of stuff. Fantastic. Like, he really, really sells it well and does a very good job. But when we get into like the dramatic stuff, right, in AEW, and I'm thinking of one specific match, and I think was it All Out with MJF and John Moxley in 2020? It was a pay-per-view with them two fighting it out. They were slogging it out, right? MJF's like busted open. They're both like on the knees, and Moxley and MJF are like striking each other. You get a really cool visual of like they're like forehead to forehead, just pressing against it. And then Bryce is just like this. It's a really cool visual. And then on the hard cam, Bryce is just like, just let me get me head in there. Come on then, to get in the shot, and it kind of just takes away. It takes away from the sort of like the drama out of that moment, and I don't know what it is. I just feel like, obviously, I think a lot of people have always said this. A good referee is a referee that's invisible or only gets involved when it's absolutely necessary to do so. But I think sometimes he just kind of like wants to get in on it to make sure that he's in an iconic shot almost. So do you know what I mean?
I'm just shocked. I'm just shocked to hear you speaking about an AEW referee and sort of getting involved more than maybe they should, and not mentioning Aubrey. Well, and this isn't me saying that Aubrey gets involved too much. By the way, I quite enjoy. Just to be honest with you, I don't fully subscribe to the referee. The best referees go unnoticed. That kind of mantra. Yeah, I quite like seeing referees getting emotionally invested. And like when Aubrey did that I forget which match it was, because they all blur into one inside my mind.
Yes,
that match where there was a near fall, a very, very near fall, and she turned away, and just the look of shock on her face. I think that adds to the occasion for me. So to hear you mention Bryce was a shock for me, and I can only put it down to bald man heat.
Well, you know, he has a better hair. He's a better looking man than me, so I have to try and get some. I have to try and get some shade on in him. You know what I mean? But there was that match, and then I think it was even the I can't remember what it was. It was like a tag match with Omega and Hangman, and I think Pentagon and Phoenix as well. And there was like lots of near falls and all this stuff. And I don't know what he does. He like pretends to do the strikes as well, which is I don't know why he does that. And
I have never noticed.
Fair enough. Yeah, he like if they're like properly just striking each other, he'll just go like.
Oh, he's going like full Mizdow.
And then he'll do this. Yeah, like go backwards and forwards and stuff. And I don't know what it is. It just like, it takes away, for me personally, from what's happening in the ring. And yeah, I feel bad just singling him out, but...
No, you're sending Bryce Ramsberg. Oh, is it Ramsberg? I always get that mixed up. Is it Ramsberg or Remsburg?
Remsburg.
Bryce Remsburg, straight to hell. You're just sending him alone.
I don't want to send him alone, because it's the same for like Earl Hebner in 1990s 2002. When you're a kid, I think you love it so much. You're like, this guy's standing up to everyone. He's standing up to everyone. And then sometimes it gets just a bit too much.
Mind you,
know what I mean?
That is one thing I don't like that Aubrey does, is when she kicks the heel's arm. If the heel is gaining advantage on the rope somehow, when she boots his arm. I think that's a bit unnecessary, because she wouldn't do that for the other guy, would she?
No,
she
exactly.
Wouldn't. Yeah, she wouldn't do that for the other guy.
That's just favoritism, that. You can't do that when you're a ref, can you?
Teacher's pet.
My bloody hellfire.
Who are some of your favourite refs, though?
I mean, I really do like Bryce because he does, like I said before, he does incredible comedic stuff. I like the stuff that he does there. It's just when it's in like serious matches.
No, you hate Bryce. We've established
I hate Bryce with a passion. I do like Earl as well. Earl's fantastic. Like have you seen the clip of a house show where he beats up I think it's all of DX.
DX, isn't it? Yeah.
It's so good.
Pushes Triple H over and stuff.
Yeah, it's amazing. And he's like doing all suck it stuff and all that. And it's buzzing. I like, obviously Charles. Charles is fantastic. Charles is one of the best. Mike Chioda, Mike Chioda a lot. You can't beat Mike Chioda. He's the dude.
I want to get this man on Straight to Hell so I can speak to him about counting to 10. Because I've never seen a man count to 10 with such vigor and such verve as Mike Chioda. He's a fantastic man.
Yeah.
Any more referees you like there?
I don't mind Aubrey. I know a lot of people have a bit of a gripe with Aubrey in the sense that you were saying and stuff, but I like how she's animated when moves get hit. It kind of like makes it feel a bit more impactful and stuff. I enjoy that quite a bit. Yeah,
just less of the kicking because she wouldn't do that to everybody. That's my
she
only
wouldn't.
gripe with Aubrey. But there we go. Bryce on his own, going straight down to hell. A big bombastic start from Andrew here. I don't know if you. What do you actually want to put down? What's the official term?
I guess it was like just referees that forcefully implement themselves in to moments in matches and then take away from it. That'll be nice for Richard to write down, won't it? That's good for him.
A grey rectangle to fit all that in, Richard. It's all
Go
the
on,
best there, body large. But there we go. That thing is now rotting down in hell. Andrew, your second offering, please.
I think this is one that I think everybody can pretty much agree on. Maybe just the treatment of the WWE Women's Tag Division. Just bad times. It's a tale as old as time, Ross. But like at this point in time, WWE, they've got the most deepest and diverse roster, like women's roster. Not even just women's roster, just the entire roster in general. And yet they still decide to chuck two random people together and expect them to have a fantastic tag match. And it's
But Andrew, stop there. Let's ask ourselves the age-old question: how will they coexist?
That's the thing, Ross. They never do. They never coexist. And the problem is, right, they might coexist if they were still in the tag teams that they're in before they get split up and go, hey, you just go with that random person over there. Go on, I dare you. And then it's like they want us to care, but there's no established teams really anymore. I know like the Riot Squad have got back together and like stuff like that, which is really good, but there's no real established teams. There's no like chemistry between some of these wrestlers that are put together. And I guess they're trying to make the women's tag division seem a bit like mean a bit more with having Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler be these dominant heels. And
it's a funny way of doing it.
Yeah, it really is. That's the thing. So yeah, they're trying to get that back and maybe have them like a long reign. So when they finally do lose the belts, it's this big triumphant moment. But the problem is that if you put two random people together, that there's no chemistry, there's no establishment between those two people to make it feel like a moment when that finally does happen. It's just random. There's no like circumstance or payoff to it. It just feels shallow and empty. And then what happens then? I guess the same thing happens again when you go when Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax lose the belts. Then it just repeats again, doesn't it? Like and where does it stop and where does it start getting better? So yeah, the women's tag division just. Oof.
I can't believe that we live in a world where they completely made a mess of one build up to a singles women's title match. It was the SmackDown women's title and the build up to the Rumble. Have I got that right? I've gone blank again, Andrew.
Oh.
And they did the same thing with Rhea Ripley and Asuka on Raw.
Yes.
Immediately after. Is that what happened? Yeah. I might have got that completely wrong.
I think it was. I think you're right.
Was it? Yeah, it was Bianca and Sasha teaming up, and then it was Rhea and Asuka teaming up. No, but must have been both in the build of WrestleMania then. So
yes,
there we go.
It was. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't believe we live in a world where that happened twice in a matter of weeks, and they thought it was a good idea to do that sort of thing. It's just they need to either get, I think NXT are doing quite well, to be honest with you, in terms
They
of
are.
getting established tag teams put together, because obviously Ember and Shotzi, they were thrown together, but ever since then, they've got new music, they've got matching hair, kind of, they've got matching gear, they take pictures together on social media. There's lots of tag team things happening between those two, so at least they're making the effort. But on the main roster, it's the same thing over and over again, and I honestly don't know where we even start with the women's tag team division as a whole, because outside of Bayley and Sasha, last summer or much of last year, it's been an absolute mess, hasn't it?
It's been such a mess. And maybe the main roster needs something like the Dusty Cup or some sort of accolade for them to work towards to make it feel a bit more, because I think that was obviously the thing on NXT that sort of made the women's tag division feel special and feel like it could be something. And I think Ember and Shotzi have been doing a fantastic job in sort of being the leaders of that women's tag division in NXT. So if maybe there was something like that for them to work towards, get these teams a bit more established, get some more chemistry behind them, and then build them up to the women's tag team titles. Maybe something like that would be really cool. But yeah, it's just a shambles. It is just a shambles, and it's so disheartening to see, because even if these women weren't in these throwaway tag teams, they could be doing stuff as single stars and building a better singles roster of women's wrestlers too, because it's all the same stuff, isn't it? It's like Charlotte Flair comes back and does this and this and this, and you could be building so much around so many really talented women, and it just sucks to see that WWE obviously don't have anything really planned for them, creative wise, character wise. They're just like, throw them together and it'll be right, won't it? At least they've got something to do. That feels like the mentality that they've got.
They need to realise that women can have feuds that don't revolve around bickering, don't revolve around men, don't revolve around men, and don't revolve around championships, because the men do that in opposite ways and kind of stuff like that. It's weird. The women's, and this is AEW as well. It's symptomatic of what they're doing as well, because their women's matches on Dynamite, I know it's changed in the last couple of weeks as we're sat here. It might have gone back to normal by the time this video goes live. Who knows? But it's just been like the throwaway segment before the main event of the night in AEW. In WWE, it's just the same stuff, the same tired stuff that's so outdated now, over and over again. They even need to scrap the women's tag team titles, as far as I'm concerned, and just start again with something like a Dusty Cup where you have established tag teams. Maybe bring in that thing that Kofi Kingston mentioned that was a load of rubbish in the build-up to his match with Omos and AJ at WrestleMania, saying, "Are you a registered tag team?" Because that's obviously never a thing. But if you make it a thing in the women's tag division, you at least make it seem important and that people want to be there, at least, you know?
Yeah, exactly. I don't even know if, like, maybe like you said, like, scrap them, and then I don't know, maybe even bring like the NXT women's tag teams up to the main roster. Let some sort of like, maybe have like the tag team division be able to cross over in different brands and promotions, just I guess to get a little bit more excitement and just to get something behind it, because I think that'd help. Say you take Shotzi and Ember, put them on SmackDown or something. I think that's a good way to build a storyline and then also build other tag teams too against them. Like something like that would be cool. I think you're onto something with like just scrap the belts and start fresh. I think
that will work for the men as well.
Yeah,
I think just having one division for the men across 2 brands and one for the women across 3 brands, that'll work for you perfectly fine.
That's the one. That'd do me. Ross.
On to number 3 now, Andrew.
Oh, is it going to hell then?
It's gone.
It's gone. Go down it's now. Gone. It's all gone. Woo!
Gone are the days when I try and go, well, I wouldn't put that
really?
down. Who am I to gatekeep, Andrew? Who am I?
You're the hell. You're the hell man.
No,
you're the devil man.
I am
who
the devil.
Gatekeeps. You're a lovely boy. Another one, I guess, with just WWE creative and everything, is just the misuse of a lot of NXT call-ups. It's very, very sad to see. And then we get some great ones, though. Obviously, like Bianca Belair recently. You know, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, Paige, Finn Balor. Amazing. But my problem is that apart from the initial pop they get from when they come out, say, like, when John Cena goes, I issue an open challenge for my United States Championship, Sami Zayn or Kevin Owens or whatever comes out. And that's amazing. That initial pop is fantastic. But then after a few months, they kind of just get thrown back down either the card or they get like put back in catering or something like that. And then you just go back to the same old big boys and girls that have done the same rigmarole over and over again. You don't really build any new stars and stuff. And the WWE is supposed to be building new stars for the future anyway. And that's the thing. Like recently, it doesn't feel it doesn't really feel like that way. It feels like we keep just getting a retread of the same stuff over and over again. And like you've got stars like you've got Ricochet. Obviously, Aleister Black is starting to do his like promos and everything now. Shinsuke in there. Keith Lee. Where's Keith Lee at? Come on, Keith Lee. Dominic Dijakovic, Mia Yim, all those kinds of peoples, and yet
Who are
WWE.
those last two, sorry?
Which one is it? Slapjack?
T-Bar.
And T-Bar and Reckoning. Sorry. And yet WWE have all these amazing people, and yet they still stunt the potential for these people to grow. And then in turn, I think they also stunt a chance to grow their audience as well with these new people. Because kids, oh my God, even I, like Ricochet, kids are going to love Ricochet, aren't they? Ricochet is going to sell them tons and tons of merch and everything like that, and yet they still just don't really see the bigger picture. And it's really sad that like Vince or whoever goes, yeah, come on up to the main roster, use them for 5 minutes, and then that's it. And then we like barely ever see them again. And sometimes we'll get good matches, like when Ricochet went against AJ Styles on Raw, like maybe a few months ago. That match was really, really good. And then that's it. Like it just disappear. And I think if you've not got grander plans for these people, just leave them in NXT. Let them just build themselves up and establish themselves more, so when they do finally come over to the main roster, it's like a big deal and not just a throwaway pop, and then that's it.
Ricochet's such a weird one, because we all know what a fantastic wrestler he is, but when it comes to cutting a promo, I think that's what's really let him down on the main roster, because he just kind of do it, but then that goes back to sort of hiding the weaknesses, accentuating the positives. Why would you not have the guy just not speaking, just let him do the wrestling, let the wrestling do the talking for him? But they need to fix the system for me, because obviously Triple H and Shawn Michaels and Road Dogg and whoever else is involved in NXT, they make these stars special, and they've got this aura about them that makes you think, wow, this could be like a proper WrestleMania main eventer down the line somewhere.
Yeah.
And then they get to Raw, and obviously different eyes are on them. Bruce Pritchard, Michael Hayes, Vince McMahon, who else is there? Hurricane, other people like that. And they obviously see something completely different to the thing that made them special in NXT. So they get knocked down and started again with something different. And because we love them so much in NXT and don't like what they're on the main roster because that's from someone else's vision, we just don't like it. So we need to have some sort of consistency where the thing that makes them special in NXT continues on the main roster. It seems like a simple fix, but it must be very complex when you've got like sort of 5 guys saying one thing in one show and then Vince McMahon and his pal saying something else on the other show. But that's a very simple thing that needs to be fixed in a very complex way, no doubt.
It really is. And I think they're doing a good job with, I think Bianca Belair, they're doing a fantastic job with. Rhea, I'm worried about Rhea because I'm obviously now that Charlotte's back. I don't know. It's very, very... I mean, she was good. I think she was a heel in NXT UK, and she's a great heel. But why make her a heel if Charlotte's going to come back and be a thing? Because then, what, you're pushing a Charlotte face turn on us when I don't think anybody really wants that. And why do we want Charlotte to win the belt back again anyway? Like, that is what I worry about the most, is that when they have a match... Rhea's going to lose it and then just get lost in the shuffle again, which is it's just so sad to see because she can have incredible matches. Let her and Shayna Baszler have like a NXT, like rekindle that feud and have them fight over the belt. That'd be so much more interesting than just having Charlotte Flair come back, beat everyone and then, back to square one again. Like, it's such a shame. And I feel like the same way for Shinsuke as well, when they built him up, wins the Rumble, all the way back down again, and that guy deserves so much more, and he could do so much for WWE as well, but I don't know why they just squash everything, Ross, and it's sad.
You do know why with Shinsuke Nakamura. We all know why.
Well, yeah.
It's horrible to say, but it's true, isn't it?
It is, and that shouldn't be the case either.
No,
that really shouldn't be the case, and you get such a good crossover between different fans of wrestling as well. I think you're missing out on an opportunity, and you'd think WWE would just want to grow and grow and grow and grow and grow and grow, and in a way that they do because they get all this talent, but then they just don't know how to use it, and it's just wasted opportunity. It really is.
You know what we need to do? We need to, when brand draft extension things happen and drafts and all that stuff, We need to have all of the superstars, every single one, just thrown into like a birthing pool kind of thing. And they're just sort of floating around, and their gimmick just sheds off them. And they're just all... You don't actually see anything rude, but you just see naked bodies floating around this pool. Not like I'm trying to think of like some sort of movie I've seen, but I can't think what movie it is. And they're all sort of floating around, and then the general managers of each show then pick just the naked sort of body and then give them a new gimmick. And we're starting again. It's a definitive restart for these gimmicks. So we're not expecting one thing and being given something else. We know from the start we're getting something different to the thing we loved from before. That's how I would do it. Just throw them all in a pool and have their clothes come off.
Yeah, like a Matrix thing when Neo comes out of his pod. He's just fresh.
I'll take your word for it.
You've never seen it?
No.
It's good. It's very good, Ross.
For it, but there we go. Yeah. However, NXT superstars become main roster superstars. That transition needs to change because it rarely does it ever work. When was the last good one? Samoa Joe had his moments, but
like, I mean, even Keith Lee, when Keith debuted, he had a really good. Was it against? He beat
Brock?
like Randy Orton clean. Like,
we're going all the way back to Brock in the Rumble. That was fantastic.
And that as well, yeah. And that's the way to like build excitement behind people. But then literally, I think it's when you hit, and even Damian Priest, like what's Priest gonna do now that Bad Bunny's gone? It was throwing tomatoes at people yesterday on Raw. Like, what are you doing to that guy? He deserves so much more. They all deserve so much more. And I just worry. I just genuinely worry about what's going to happen for him.
That's the thing as well with Damian Priest, because I didn't understand Damian Priest's gimmick for a long time in NXT, and then they start doing the vignettes where he's going to nightclubs and stuff, and he's a bit of a shagger and all that kind of stuff. He's a bit of a naughty boy, and it's like it's a gimmick that he could only pull off because it seems to be what he's. I'm not saying that's what he's like in real life, but he seems to, you know what I mean? He just fits him.
Yeah.
He gets to the main roster, and 70-million-year-old Vince McMahon doesn't know what that sort of thing is anymore, I hope. Yeah. So now Damian Priest sort of finds himself being Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
And that's it?
What happens then? Yeah, that is literally it. And again, I worry for him. It would be nice if they let the... I mean, obviously get the NXT guys involved with the main roster guys, you know, let the main roster guys put them over and make them big stars. It would be nice to see crossover of just these NXT stars being able to do what they did in NXT on a grander scale. Keith Lee and Dominik Dijakovic, a main event like that on Raw, that would be fantastic to see something like that. But yeah, it just hurts my heart. It really genuinely hurts my heart because I watch NXT the most out of like any of the brand stuff, and I really, really am invested in NXT and love it so much. So when you hear someone's getting called up, it's like, yes, this could be an amazing opportunity for you, but then you're also thinking like, no, don't go. Please,
I think the excitement has been beaten out of us for NXT call-ups, to be honest with you. I think that went away many years ago, but there we go. NXT call-ups have gone straight down to hell. I think that's probably the most warranted so far, Andrew.
Thank you.
The one that people could argue least about, to be honest with you. But
that's good then.
Let's go on to number 4.
Number 4 is when fans are all about keeping the kayfabe alive, Ross. You got to keep kayfabe alive, right? So, like, when you see people commenting on wrestlers' Twitters being like, you're killing the business, that's not very in character of you and everything. And it's like, they're just regular people too. They like to live their lives and they like to do what they want to do. Like, sometimes they'll promote a charity if they're a heel or something, and then people will be like, well, come on now, would you really do that? And it's like, well, yeah, they would, because they're nice people, like, most of the time. And it's just like, just let them be. I think the thing about that is as well, is that we as people can get more invested in a character if we like the person behind the character too. So, like, being able to see these people's day-to-day lives, whether it's like Kevin Owens' cats or whatever, or like Malcolm Bivens being just an annoying person to everyone, which is always really funny to see. Like, just let them be. I don't think it's killing the business. I think it's broadening it out to a wider audience. In the, like, if you see something funny, like a funny tweet from someone, maybe they'll be like, oh, this guy's a wrestler, or this lady's a wrestler. Let's have a gander and see what the work's like and stuff. I found a lot of wrestlers just from like Twitter game more than anything. Maki Ito, fantastic. Like, saw her Twitter game and was like, oh, I've never heard of this lady before. And then saw what she was posting, like the most outlandish stuff. She's fantastic. And then you go and watch like something that they've done, and you become a fan through that. Like, just let people do what they want to do.
I'm going to play devil's advocate here, Andrew. What
Okay.
about, because I remember, maybe 4 years ago when Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns, was it, I think, were at the height of their feud, and WWE went to Italy, I think. They were in some sort of like dilapidated Colosseum thing, and they posted a picture together, lads on holiday. That there was a group of 5 or 6 of the wrestlers, but Braun and Roman at the height of their feud were in the same picture on a day trip out of the Colosseums. Do you have an issue with that kind of thing?
I guess when you're so embedded in a storyline like that is the biggest thing in the company. I think that it makes sense not to cross paths in that sense.
Because we all know as wrestling fans, because I know people who watch TalkSport and see the wrestling articles posted on there can't seem to grasp this, but wrestling fans, we know it's just a TV show. We know it's not real fighting.
Yeah.
But it is still weird to see at the height of a big feud like that, the superstars posting pictures together. It's a weird juxtaposition in terms of, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get that, but I think like maybe in more recent years we've sort of come to accept it a little bit more. I think we understand, obviously, that we understood back then that it's not real, but I think we understand a bit more that there is a lot of camaraderie between these people, especially in like the up down down stuff, where you see people that face off against each other on NXT like every week. They're there together just having a laugh, like playing games and stuff, and I think it's nice to see. And again, I don't think it's killing the business. I think you can separate yourself from that aspect and what's happening on TV, Yeah.
Do you think there's any need for because I remember speaking to Aiden English about this stuff, Matt Raywalt, and we had this sort of similar discussion. I was suggesting maybe a wrestler has a wrestler Twitter account where they do all kayfabe stuff, and then a personal Twitter account where they can do anything they like. Do you reckon that's worth the hassle?
I think that would be worth the hassle, especially if it just gets people off your back, being like, you're not keeping kayfabe about your character and all this, like protect your character. It's like, yeah, I guess that would be nice. These people deserve just to have an outlet as well, just to be able to. Sorry, am I bored? I thought I was boring.
No, sorry,
you there, Russ.
no, it's been a long day.
But yeah, I think they're allowed to have a personal outlet. They work so hard. They give us so much in terms of entertainment that they don't want to be switched on all the time. Like, I think obviously not saying that you're not switched on all the time or you're not like bouncy all the time or whatever, but you know how hard it is to be switched on like 24/7 and then
Look at me now.
Look at you now, I know, right? But like, you know how hard it is to be like switched on 24/7 and then not be able to like step away and just do whatever you want to do. Like, if you've got to still keep it up on Twitter, it's really exhausting. So I think, just let people do what they want to do on the social medias. But I do get your understanding of having separate Twitter accounts, maybe one to keep the character and stuff all in one place, and then the personal stuff separately. I can see that.
A weird thing, social media and wrestling, because oftentimes you see the best angles sort of set up on social media. I remember Becky Lynch a couple of years ago there, just setting off all kinds of firecrackers on the social medias by extracting the Michael out of there. I'm trying to keep the language clean, Andrew. Extracting the Michael out of her opponents, potentially. But I can see how it's just a weird thing, isn't it? Just social media in general. Just a weird place. There we go. That is the fourth thing. The hell? Is it the fourth thing?
I think that is the fourth thing, yeah.
Let's have your fifth and final one then, please, Bonnie lad.
This one, Ross, gets me every single time. Every single time. And it's when the slow motion camera replay speeds up at the height of the impact, which makes no sense to me. It's like, it's the payoff to the slow-mo shot is the contact, right? Say you've got a super kick. Why would you do the slow-mo of charging up for the super kick and going towards your opponent, but you speed it up like right at the last minute on impact? Now, going back to other things, sometimes when it is snug, they do slow it down and you're like, ooh, got some straight in jaw, and you see all that, and that's really cool.
But that takes you out the moment even more, doesn't it? The fact that they do it for some things and not everything.
That's the thing, yeah, that is the thing. Like, why would you even bother doing it? Because then that does take away from it even more. That's like saying, oh, it's fake. Like, it's literally just like pretty much.
But not here.
Yeah,
not this bit.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. Not the build up. Not him stepping backwards to get ready for the move. That's not fake. But the move itself is fake. Like, they're pretty much just like broadcasting that it's not real, and I just don't understand it. It's so unnecessary, and it's like, if you can't make it look good in slow motion, if you have to speed up the moment of impact, why even bother in the first place? Like, why bother?
Again.
I'm sorry that I'm boring
you. No, it's not. You had a late night in the office last night, and early start today. Yes, Kevin Dunn, I reckon, is just a very bored man and gets paid a lot of money and has a lot of spare time to come up with ideas to make his wrestling show look better. And what he tries to do with the shaky cameras, with the camera cuts, with this, just makes it worse.
It just doesn't look good, and it makes it look even more tacky as well, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like, that's another thing I think we sort of think about WWE, especially in sort of like Raw terms and stuff like that, is just it just feels like going to circus or something. I don't know what it is. It just doesn't feel. It doesn't feel good. I think NXT UK do a good sort of a good job of doing the slow-mo stuff, and I think just NXT...
You watch NXT UK?
I do. I like NXT UK quite a bit.
Every week?
Most weeks. Like, sometimes I'll miss a week, but since they've come back, they've been really good. Like, they've had fantastic matches. Obviously, like Walter and
Rampage.
Ilya Dragunov, like, fantastic. Well, and, oh my God, Walter and Rampage Brown as well. And now you got Mustache Mountain coming back. You got Trent Seven, who's leaned down in the cruiserweight division, challenging Jordan Devlin, and that was a really good match. Like, they genuinely have good matches, but NXT UK's storylines are usually a bit. And now they've got Millie McKenzie, and Millie McKenzie's amazing. And
yeah, no characters though, is there? They're all like, pretty. We go down the pub and have a scrap.
Yeah, that is like, what's his name? Sam Gradwell. Like, he's very much just like that with his mohawk. Yeah, just like, oh, it's a bit much sometimes. You've got that Butcher Man. I can't remember what the Butcher Man's called either, but
Shaw Samuels.
Yes, sorry, yeah, Shaw Samuels. Yeah, he's very good. I actually really like him. Now we're getting on to NXT UK. I'm going away from the thing here. The Butcher Man. But what was I saying? Yeah, they do really good slow-mo shots. And then some of the slow-mo shots, I think, over the Stand and Deliver shows, there were some good ones. Like in the Unsanctioned match, you got a snug super kick from Adam Cole into the chops of Kyle O'Reilly. And they do a good job with that. Like, they don't do it every big move, only if it's necessary to do it because it looks good.
Yeah.
And if they just followed suit like that, I think it would just be so much better.
Sometimes it does look quite good, but I'm just imagining a Jeff Hardy swanton bomb maybe, and just the bit where he sort of flips in the air in that slow motion. That sort of looks nice to me, but again, you are sort of missing the impact, which is the sort of the point of the wrestling move.
But I think...
But when it comes to super kicks, though, I fully agree with you. That's just pointless,
super kicks is just silly. But I guess with Jeff, or moves like that, is it more about the form than the impact?
Ooh,
like, it looks cool. Do you know what I mean? It looks cool because he's doing all these, like, he's stretched out and he's doing all his, like, he's arching his back and all that kind of stuff. Like, that looks really cool. Or if they do it for a moonsault, do you remember? I think they did it for Cody's moonsault when he did it off the top of the cage. Like, that looks amazing because you get sort of like the scale of the cage and the height of everything, and it looks amazing. But yeah, just don't do it for when they do like a Canadian destroyer and it's obvious like someone lands on the bum more than they land on like the person's head, and they slow it down and it's like he just landed on his arse there. It didn't really didn't really hurt him, did it? And just the slow-mo camera, it just does my head in.
So what we're saying is less camera things.
Unless it's necessary, yeah.
There we go. There you go. There's your 5 things straight down to hell. Was there anything that came close to going down to hell in your summoning of 5 things to send down to hell?
Anything, as in what? Like any of these that I've picked?
No, anything that just didn't make the cut. Anything that just got
anything that... Thinking about it then, talking about it, and it just NXT UK there, just like you were saying, not having characters or storylines. Having amazing matches, but just not having the right build-up to it, which is a shame because they've got a lot of good people on that roster now.
Yeah, that's the thing. I watch all of the, I say all of the NXT takeovers as if there's been a lot, but there hasn't, has there? I've seen all of the NXT takeovers, and they're always great. Well, the NXT UK takeovers, sorry, and they're always fantastic shows. But that want to watch the weekly show just isn't there for me because of the lack of characters and the lack of things to get invested in. It's a big issue. I don't know why they do it unless They are just saving all the flamboyance for Raw and SmackDown and NXT, and then NXT UK is where you go for straight up professional wrestling.
I mean, maybe it is because the shows are only like
Down the
usually
pub.
just down the pub. The shows are usually just less than an hour, like maybe 55 minutes or something like that, which is nice to see in a WWE product, something that's not like 3 hours long or whatever. Something you can literally just sit down, blast out in an hour, done, good wrestling matches. But then, yeah, I guess you do lose out on the story stuff, and that I think that's what brings a lot of people in as well, is like compelling stories. But like Meiko Satomura and Kaylee Ray had a fantastic match the other month, and like Millie McKenzie now being in the mix of that too. Millie McKenzie's amazing. I hope her and Pete Dunne get to do something together, because them two together are fantastic. But yeah, so just that might have been on there too, I think. Yeah.
There we go. So anything to plug?
Twitch.tv/Cultaholic on a Monday, do Monday Fun Days. I guess, like everybody's already heard, there's cool things in the pipeline coming, content-wise for Cultaholic and stuff. And other than just everybody being so lovely to work for here, thanks for having me. And yeah, it's been nice. Thank you, Ross.
I reckon I'll fight you one day.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, just knock me out.
No, I can see it coming.
All right.
See you next time.